the governor, and it's pretty interesting, the dressing, typical Sonko, and of course in there's minted clips of the development projects that he has. What do you think about that, Mondo?
I'm just thinking of the video and also the song.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of the dance also. I mean, he has talent. Our governor has talent in other places and parts.
When he retires from politics,
he should come for talent such in KTN. We have many of those dance things and all that. But again, yes, I think it's always good to evaluate yourself in leadership. I know people would ask 2 years in this new term and what has it done for Nairobians, and I think that's what he's trying to explain right now. And as opposed to somebody jumping in and say, what are we celebrating in 2 years? It is time to ask yourself, so if this is the measure that he had put for himself to achieve in terms of development, in terms of all those things he's doing for the county, what else did you want him to do? And I think that's the time to ask him, so what else could you not do for us that we wanted you to do? And I think, yes, as a self-styled leader, I would call him that, who has defied many odds. A guy who has been in office without a deputy governor, talk of the speaker and all that. I think Sonko himself is a story in terms of leadership and the way he looks at things, that is able to run an office by himself and people around him for that matter.
Yeah, and it's pretty ingenious the way he's doing it. It's very creative. It's his, like you said, self-styled and pretty cool, I think. Don't you
I just want to know who's the musician.
Yeah, who sang that? I saw
song,
the name somewhere.
That's a Diamond song, right?
Beats.
Is it?
That's
the
a Diamond
beats, yeah. It's very Tanzanian.
Yes, so I want to know, I hope he's supporting first Kenyan music, and that's a Kenyan musician. And then he's the video vixen in his own video.
Well, he did
That's a funny one, the way he's dancing in the office. But I don't see the need of celebration 2 years on. I wish it was 5 years on, and we analyze the whole 5 years.
I think it's too soon.
What did he promise, and has he met those promises? So I don't see the need of celebration.
So it might be
again,
too
this
soon
is
to
another excess expenditure that he's using county money, of course. Because was the celebration paid by himself? Did he specify?
Who knows? I don't know.
He didn't specify. So it calls for that question. Whose money was used to make this video, this music, and pay for this whole celebration?
A lot of money is going down with governors in corruption issues. I mean, this is already record for us to, again, like I said, our governor.
If you're talking about maybe they have a communication department that decided this is the best way to make publicity for ourselves. Yeah, so maybe it's still within the,
budgets that
the budget, the allocations.
It's more of entertainment and less of publicity.
Yeah, I mean, but it goes, and we're talking about it on Hot Topics, so I mean, it goes to speak to how effective that mode of communication is. Now, the bars are being closed because of censors, and people were online, were talking, having all manner of funny things. Some people said, when you close those bars on Friday, you're going to let us out on Monday because we are not leaving. And Arsenal fans were also up in arms because they wanted to enjoy in their typical fashion. And it's all about the censors. There's no off day, there's no public holiday as we were expecting. But of course, this is big news. Everybody's talking about it. I'll start with you, Mwendo. What's your take on that?
I like what the Hot Topic guys, I mean, the guys were discussing before we came for the Hot Topics with Mike. And a little bit of that was touched. For me, it's all about the entertainment industry, whereby, guys make money during weekends. Anybody, musicians, clubs, promoters, and
big business.
All those guys, the big business starts on Friday and ends on Sunday. And again, like somebody said when they come on set, is that people had already planned on how the weekend goes. You can imagine if I hired an artist to fly to, for example, Kisumu, to go and attend guys on Saturday. If I had a gig planned for my, my restaurant or whatever it is, I mean, that is already money gone under the drain. And not just that, I mean, it's an entire weekend whereby you're saying, bars don't sell, clubs, you close down. And not just those guys, I mean, because we just look like we're talking about alcohol and all that. Somebody talks about keshas. Whereby, of course, you're going to worship and praise God, and also, I mean, there's a lot. And I just agree with whoever said, I mean, some of these communications should be done in good time. We don't say
like a month in advance.
It's not a bad thing to say, close, this thing happens after 10 years. let's tackle it and move on with life. I think there should be proper communication.
Yeah, give people time to prepare for it. Boy.
First, I don't think we need more holidays because we're in the third quarter of the year where we have more holidays coming up. The Mashuja and Jamhuri. So we have more coming up for that. It's a bad weekend for artists. It's a bad weekend for musicians because it's basically a shutdown. So no making money this weekend. Will continue next weekend. And I hope they had communicated this a month in advance for events organizers and for owners of bars and lounges.
Yeah, because I would imagine it's millions of shillings that are being lost. Yeah, and it's understandable why they are unhappy with that.
And again, I thought they said you can be counted.
In bars?
Anywhere you are.
Anywhere you are, but not bars.
Well, I think they meant hospitals and places like that where people have to be. But then with the pubs, they're even giving you an hour to go home just to be there or to be dragged there. I mean,
has anyone had the census drink?
No, I saw the census 2 years old.
Yeah.
2 years old. 2 years old.
2 days old.
2 days old, rather. Yeah. There was a joke that was going on about closing the bars, and somebody said, close the bars and then close the guys in.
Yeah, and then there's somebody who says that actually people are going to be counted in lodgings and restaurants. So somebody was questioning the logic behind that. Why close bars? But I mean, isn't it just about accommodation?
Oh. Guys can have house parties.
I think the ones who've traveled for work and live in hotels and lodging.
Yeah, because there are people who live on the road actually. Yeah, it makes sense actually. Now let's take a look at, because we're running out of time, at the weeklies. We have the Pulse, and hey, when I saw the cover model, I was like, where? Not even.
I think it just came from a very conservative person.
No,
I think we had family
even the most liberal would hold their chin and be like, wow. And I'm not sure if we have that page or if we can put it on the screen.
No, let people read the Pulse wherever they read. I mean, it's a free copy in the Standard. And again, this week was a week full of activities.
Yeah, it's right there on air, and they've slashed it halfway because.
Why is slashing? What is slashing it? All right. It was a week full of activities.
Yes.
Watershed period.
We had Mathew.
Yes, Mathew's dead.
Dead, and I've seen a lot of that stuff in Nairobi, and quite a loss. We already have Mr. Kenya.
Mr. Kenya, yes.
Down in Philippines, and the finals are today. I know he's been doing very well. Kenyans are voting for him, and we still ask for them to vote for him as a closing to the finals.
Yeah.
But again, a big story that we have in the past, not just as the cover story on pubs and the way they are now marketing themselves in page 8 and 9, but if you go to, I think, page 7, you'll see the televangelist who is...
This is an
private,
interesting one. Yeah, I preach, I pray, and I slay. That's the title. And this is what's her name? I forget. Reverend Lucy Natasha speaks of her game-changing move to deliver a generation to salvation. And there she is pictured right there in a jet, I think. And there's smoke. Was that photoshopped in there? Or was that part of the photo shoot? What was going on?
You know flight and smoke. You know about flight and smoke.
The clouds made it into the flight.
It's a nice story, and I like the way she gets open. I know that some times ago she was there with Mike again. Just being open about, being single and just being happy as a single person, and, just enjoying life as it is, and why she ministers mostly to young people. I think it's for guys to grab the pulse and just read
and read on
and just see what's there. And many big stories are, some of them which I saw also covered by Boyo, where we had the likes of Arrow Boy just having a listening party for his new album and stuff. That basically everything that was happening this week, you will find it in the past.
Yeah, and as far as the Reverend goes, there's nowhere that it's written that you shouldn't slay if you're a preacher or an evangelist.
No, slay all the way.
Yes, slay all the way. She looks beautiful. She dresses modestly, but in a very great way. So, I mean, that's her style. Let her enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, now, Boyo, the Nairobian, there's big news right
Yes, we have our Sabina Chege there.
Would you mind reading us the title?
Sabina loved Mathew until she met Nganga. Nganga meaning
Yeah,
the preacher,
Nganga, yes.
the scandalous Nganga. So that we have that as our front page,
Yeah.
and it's a
She
love
has quite a
story.
taste,
She has,
this
yeah,
woman.
the Mathew.
We said it's Kenyeji all the way.
Yeah. And
So that is on our page 4 and page 5 of the Nairobian. Get to know the love stories that started with the Mathew before moving on to Nganga.
absolutely, and we're told that the Mathew loved her all the way
All
till
the way till
the end.
One another story that you've covered that I just noticed that has been making headlines
Yeah.
is the state of our own Jimmy Gate. And,
Oh,
you know,
what's happening with him?
The throat condition and,
is
you know,
he-
he's been away. He's been asking people to pray for him. He's in India actually having a medical
Oh,
condition.
really?
So, yes.
Because he
he's-
made so much publicity about the wife thing, I even had no idea something had happened to him.
No, he's really bad heart
Okay,
Yeah.
is it what's going on?
He
Tell
even
us
had
more.
an endoscopy this week. Yeah,
see that, yo.
so he's gonna reveal what condition is, but he said please don't speculate about cancer and all
okay,
that.
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And now he goes on and says, even Sabina, this one, came and visited me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sabina
And so-
Chege was in India too.
Which is pretty good of her, and of course
That's on
we
our
wish her-
page 27 of the
page-
Nairobian. On the 14, we have the in-depth, the lie that it is
Yes,
the census
the census exercise. And
So we are actually talking about different things that are likely to go wrong, like the
Okay.
misinformation in the counting, the guys lying about the Mpango Kando. So
You know,
how legit are people going to be about
Yeah.
this census
Or
and not
upfront.
lie about certain things?
Yes.
And is the census really going to help in implementation and allocation of money? So
Right.
there's some of the things that we want answered.
I think there are things we hope this census will bring, but then knowing our country as the way things go, we probably
like, are we
shouldn't-
really doing
yeah.
the census for that purpose? And when the times come, will it address that
Yes,
purpose? Will it use that
the-
census for that? Or is it just something we do after every 10
yes,
I mean,
that's-
Kenyans
yeah.
have a right to be skeptical about all those things because, I like the said today, that the fact that you can take census, which is 2 years before the elections and all that, but forget about the levels of education in the country, forget
Yeah.
about poverty,
Yeah.
things that you're going to be asked on Saturday and Sunday, and just think of population in terms of ethnicity and all those things. I mean, sometimes Kenyans have a right to be a bit skeptical
Yes.
about why you really are doing this. census
Yeah,
or taking
absolutely.
this
And we're
census.
being told emphatically right there on the sides, don't lie about your mpango. So if you're participating in this, just be upfront. They won't discriminate against you or judge you. Now, Mike, could you join us as we wind this up? I'm sorry we had little time for hot topics. There's so much more on the Nairobian and the Pulse. And of course, the Pulsar we have, you can find it. It's free. You can find it anywhere. But that concludes Hot Topics this Friday.
Absolutely. And I must say, Stevens, your jacket looks very nice.
Yeah,
does it?
I'll need to
very,
see.
I said,
I'll
I
need to
want
talk
a
to your
female
tailor.
version of this. It's so
it
cool.
looks really nice,
Yeah.
very unique.
I talked to my designer, Ashok, about
And I see you guys had, had the memo.
I know.
Yeah,
You
we
left
got the
Boyo
memo.
and I out of the memo. It
I'm the
seems
color
like it's a
block.
red day.
I'm the
Yes.
color block.
Visualizing things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an awesome show, and thank you for joining us on Hot Topics, but also all of you that have been watching, thank you so very much. And from a very able team that ensures that this happens every Monday to Friday, we say thank you for watching. Do take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. My name is Mathew.
And I'm Trix Ingado. Have a beautiful weekend.